Good day. It's a great opportunity for me to share my insight about issues we face in our country, one of which is gender equality and women empowerment. Before I start, let me define the difference between gender and sex, as we always hear misconceptions and misinformation about it. Sex refers to biological differences between male and females, such as genitalia and genetic differences. It pertains on sexual organ we have in our body if we are male or female. Gender, on the other hand, is more difficult to define, but it can refer to a role of a male or female in society known as gender role or individual concept of them or gender identity. It pertains on how we act in society if we are a girl, a boy, a lesbian, a gay, or whatsoever. Gender has a big factor on how we perform in society, and sometimes because of it we're being judged. It is known that even before, gender inequality is happening, not only in the Philippines but also in the other part of the world. It is said that men is superior, and so women are discriminated. Men and women has no equal rights before. Women were told to stay at home and do household chores. They were not allowed to study. At young age, they were taught about the things women should know, like cooking, cleaning, weaving, and more. Women have no rights to vote or to run in politics. Because of the norms about women, we forgot about the things women can do. Most of us, we stereotype the function of women and men that is so easy to distinguish, like what is their worth and when they will be respected. They said that women were weak and they can't do things men has the capability to do, not knowing the capabilities a woman has to. The treatment women has before were unfair to the fact that they only see the physical characteristic of women and not see their capabilities and skill women has. Women can go on a day without being judged. Judged because of the way they act, how they dress, how they speak, and what they do. We can always hear, "You're a woman and yet you're drinking," when we're just having fun with our friends. "You're a woman and yet you're smoking," when it's just their way to release their stress. "You're a woman and you wear those kind of dress," when those kind of dress is comfortable for you. "You're young and yet you already have boyfriend." "You'll be pregnant early," when you're just trying to love. "You're a woman and yet you speak like that. You should be modest," when it's just your speaking voice. "You wear too much makeup," when it's just how you express yourself and what's make you confident. You're a woman and yet you're a woman and you don't know household chores, when you're not just raised doing household chores. Women were judged because of being women. Women were judged without knowing the real story. Women were stereotyped just because we are women. Women are judged because of being ourselves, but we have voice. Thanks to the women who fight for our rights during those times, and to those women who still fighting for right as of today. The inequality women experienced before were still experienced and are still happening as of today in the other part of the world. Like in Iraq, violence against women were dominant, and so the gender gap in Iraq is widening with incidents of gender-based violence and limited participation of women and girls in significant fields, according to the report of UN Women. In Jordan, where women do not have equal economic opportunity or participation, at 20% unemployed among women is more than double that of men, according to the World Bank. In Egypt, well-educated women were active participants in Cairo Tahrir Square protests, where they were subjected to alarming rates of rape and sexual assault, and largest number of women and girls who have undergone female genital mutilation or the ritual cutting or removal of some or all the external female genitalia, a practice that more than 90% of married Egyptian women were between ages 15 and 49 have been subjected to, according to a survey conducted by the Ministry of Health and Population. According to a survey conducted by the Ministry of Health and Population. In Saudi Arabia, where women are considered minors under the female guard in Saudi Arabia, where women are considered minors under male guardians known as maram, whom they are not permitted to leave home without, whether it is to go shopping or A historic election in 2015 granted Saudi women the right to vote for the first time, but they are not permitted to drive and most public spaces are segregated. The rights women should have were separated from women, and it's sad knowing just because of our gender, we can't do things we want to do. We, as a future contributors of 21st century, we have to see the different local context about the said issue. Sometimes, being judged by someone is good, that they criticize to prove recommendation that they could perform well, but we need to consider how we can express our opinion about a person, as it can affect a person. I always hear something about women from their fellow women. They judge or criticize the person without knowing the real story. It's sad that many women stood up to empower women, and yet some women degrade women when they should be the one to empower them. We must keep in mind that we're not just women, we are women. We shouldn't be pleading for our rights because it should be given to us. We have our rights and no one should take it away from us. In most of the companies, even when majority of the employee are men, increasing evidence show the coexistence of men and women in the same environment accounts for more creative terms because of diversity. They usually possess skill to unite people and draw together opinions and proposals. Women are also good in multitasking and are well adept in focusing on work. They also relate in almost every situation as they show empathy appreciation for others since they are typically focused on individuals and their needs. Caring for others is the key quality that they possess. The another quality of women that cannot be ignored was their patience and hard work. They can come to work and do stuff when they get home, like taking care of their kids, cooking, washing the dishes, and so. They also have high tolerance to pain. Some abused women try to handle things as long as they can before seeking for help. Women are quite martyr to the sense that they will try their best to handle pain so that it will not affect their loved ones. Well, that says something as they experience more pain than men, biologically speaking. Experiencing monthly torture during menstruational period and while giving birth. They feel like most of their bones are being cracked piece by piece. Luckily, in the Philippines, there are laws that protect women's rights. The Republic Act 9262 are an act defining violence against women and their children, providing protective measures for victims, prescribing penalties, therefore, and for other purposes, are also known as Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004. With this act, the state values the dignity of women and children and guarantees full respect for human rights. The state also recognized the need to protect the family and its members, particularly women and children, from violence and threats to their personal safety and security. Toward this end, the state shall exert effort Toward this end, the state shall exert effort to address violence committed against women and children, in keeping with fundamental freedoms guaranteed under the Constitution and provision of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Convention on the Right of the Children, and other international human rights instruments of which the Philippines is the party. With this act, even in barangays, the state provides a position of bossy officers wherein complaints for women and children are managed, with the proper training with the due process on how to handle case against the said person and ensure them that the proper address on their case will be done. Violence that is common in other countries, like physical, sexual, psychological, and economical abuse, will be addressed accordingly. With this kind protection and seminars in different companies or government offices for gender and development or gender awareness, make the women more aware in their great party in our society. All things considered as we look at our future, as long as women make a stand and continue showing what they made of, despite of some weaknesses, they can live their life as they want to.